Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
What's up, TJ?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Fix my hair.
It looks great.
Cool hair.
helps.
How are you?
We're doing good. Just got the kids in bed, and you know the routine.
Mm-hmm.
Hi
Here's
guys,
Court.
I'm coming in. I was making some cheese.
Come on
Yeah,
in.
we're at the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who's at the Capitol?
Our boys are at the Capitol.
Oh, awesome.
So.
What time are you guys? Do you have to go pick them up, or do they drive?
We got to pick them up.
We'll have
Oh, yeah.
daughter can
But
pick
we're
it up.
this close to having a full-time driver.
Oh,
Hey,
snap.
that's awesome.
Maddie can pick them up.
Yeah,
That's
let me see.
right. We're close.
There's Tiffany. What's up, Tiff?
Hey,
Hey, Tiff.
Jeff's got a softball game for VHM tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. He might jump on when he's driving home.
Okay.
He probably will, like last time. Remember, he was coming from work on the call.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you better watch the road, man.
Hey, Chad.
Hey.
What's up, people? How you feeling, man?
Uh-oh,
He muted me. No, he.
Got me?
Yeah, how you feeling, bro?
Yeah, I'm on the mend. I'm trying to get some rest before I head up on this mission trip, man.
Yeah, I know, man. Thank you for joining, bro.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I can't believe that. So what was going on with you?
Just sinus infection or something. I don't know. Something not that big of a deal. I'm just trying to rest up so I got energy for this trip.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
man.
I'm good.
Sweet, bro. Well, we have a couple more people that should be coming on, but right now, I don't know if you guys know each other, but we have our adult small group coaches and our fusion coaches. We are going to be on one call tonight, so it's super cool to have everybody together. We're excited about that. And so you see Nathan and Lisa right there in the middle. Well, they're in my middle, but they are our adult small group coaches. I don't know if you guys have met them yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Chad and Tiffany. Have all you guys met?
In some, I met Tiff. Chad, I knew your wife.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tiffany and her husband Jeff and Chad and his wife Lori, they are our fusion young adult small group coaches.
We like
love
fusion.
A little partial.
Yeah.
So we have so Wayne and Nancy, they may jump on, and then Anthony said he's gonna try to get on too. Anthony Taylor is our coach for men's groups for the ministry. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, thank y'all so much. We'll go ahead and start, and people will just jump on when they can. I know Lori's enjoying her friends right now at the concert.
Yeah.
New kids on the block.
I was just gonna say, tell them to get new kids on the block.
I
I
know.
was like,
I was
what?
like, I'm so jealous. I was at that concert when I was a kid. I remember I had the fanny pack and everything.
This isn't the first time
Oh my goodness.
she's seen them, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't
went
know
with
how I
her
feel
last
about it.
time.
You
Yeah.
did you guys go with them like now, like as you being an adult?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
last
when did
year
you go,
Lori and I-
Tiffany? Yeah, was it like last year y'all went?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
fun.
she went with the girls last year.
Yeah.
But me and her had been to see like Boys to Men and New Kids on the Block and all that like 4 or 5 years ago. So
Yeah,
this is like a common thread for her. This is her jam, I guess.
that's crazy. She said
That's
Naughty
awesome.
by Nature's gonna be there. I was like, what?
Wow.
What?
She's so 80s, 90s, you know. She loves it.
So funny.
Oh man, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So we'll miss her, but also we're recording the call too. So in case a few people can't get on, we'll make sure that they get the info or whatnot. But
Cool.
Thank you guys. Let's go ahead and start, man, so we can kind of maximize our time. And so appreciate y'all joining the call and just making arrangements to get on here. We know how that pool is, trying to do everything, and so thank y'all for doing that. And especially thank you guys too for just joining Courtney and I on this journey, man, that we've been on for 9 months now. Can y'all believe it's been 9 months? It feels like it's been
Awesome.
2 years, but it's been 9 months, and so we appreciate y'all, having our backs and just willing to, serve alongside of us and just make this happen together in small groups. So thank y'all for that. But so let's go ahead and pray, and then we'll dive in tonight so we can maximize our time. Lord, we love you, and we thank you so much for what we get the opportunity to do. Thank you that we get to partner with you, God, and just shepherding our flock, Father, and just allowing us to just be a part of the bigger picture when it comes to, what people need in their lives through small groups. And I just pray that you would give us what we need, Lord, to just bring comfort and bring hope, bring love and community through our leadership, through, small groups. And we just pray that you will bless our hands, God, everything that we do, that you would pray that you would give us wisdom and just lead us, Holy Spirit, as we lead others, shepherd others, and care for the needs of other people. We thank you so much. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
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 All right, so tonight I want to talk a little bit about kind of where we are as small groups, where we're going, and a little bit of how we plan to get there. And so, and I'll try to run through it, but feel free to stop, pause, ask any questions. And we'll have some time at the end too, to try to get some questions answered if you have any questions as well. But I want to just get a chance to kind of like talk a little bit about where we're going. But I wanted to kind of start a little bit with kind of some vision and just the foundation of small groups, because I don't think we really had a chance to kind of do that. And so before we're able to go anywhere and just accomplish any goals in small groups, I think it's important for us to embody the vision of victory. And I think we need to kind of know what that vision is. And one of the reasons why I feel like it's important for us to talk about now is because this is something kind of that has been pitched to us as staff. And, the question was asked, how many of you guys know what the vision is? You know what I mean? Like, and we say so much stuff. We say so much. We have so much verbiage, and we all have this. We have so many pieces of the language that some people get all of it, some people don't, and so some people just didn't know. Like, hey, what is our vision? Like, what are we here for? And so I just felt like it was necessary to just kind of talk through that a little bit tonight, just to kind of make sure that we are embodying this as small group coaches. But we need to know why we signed up for this. And the vision helps us to do that. The vision helps us to understand the why. Why are we coaches and leaders in small groups? And so the vision of victory is broken up into 3 components: purpose, mission, and values. And victory's purpose is to help people to become fully committed disciples of Jesus. That's the purpose of victory. The mission is basically the 4 pillars: building families, transforming communities, reconciling cultures, and impacting nations. That's our mission. And our values is basically our core values, what we believe, what's important. This is what drives us, and this is how we operate as a church, as ministry. And they are sincerity, simplicity, and sacrifice. I know you guys have been around for a while, so you guys have heard, Pastor D and probably Pastor Johnson talk about this as well. But those are the values. And so I think it'll be good if we kind of can embody these a little bit more, and it will, spill over into the lives of our small group leaders. So I just want to throw that out there. So with that in mind, small groups is not a separate entity. You know what I mean? We're an extension of victory, and we're here to carry out the vision of victory and the purpose and the mission and the values of victory. And so with that being said, what is the small group's vision statement? And here it is. You guys ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Victory small groups exist to create authentic community where we cultivate friendships as we pursue discipleship. Victory small groups exist to create authentic community where we cultivate friendships as we pursue discipleship. So this is the why for small groups. And so when we know the why, we can move forward, right? The why brings clarity to what we're doing. And so, again, this would be good for us to embody ourselves so we can encourage our small group leaders, with the same thing. And so one thing that I wanted to share with you guys, one thing that we've learned, and I'm sure you guys have probably heard this, but one thing that we've learned and been taught over the years here at Victory is that vision leaks and values drift. Vision leaks and values drift, meaning we have to continually keep vision before people. Because if we don't, it eventually, over time, the vision will leak, it'll slip away off of people's minds, and then people kind of forget why they're doing what they're doing. And so, especially as we have new people cycle through, we have new leaders coming through, people, we're multiplying groups and we're being hero makers. So we're going to have to continuously, on this new journey that we're on, we're going to have to continuously just keep the vision before people. And values drift when we don't enforce the things we hold as important. And so, our values are just our core beliefs. It's what we do, it's how we operate. And so, our values reveal what is important to us. What's important to us as coaches, what's important to small groups, what's important to small group leaders. And so our values is what should drive our decisions to be able to do what we get to do. And so going forward, we're going to do a better job at Hamilton Mill and just across the globe. We've talked about this, but we're going to do a better job of keeping the vision at the forefront for everybody.
Could you say that again? It was so funny. You went, so what we're going to do, and it went blah, 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 blah. Can you say it one more time?
No, I said, so what we're going to do going forward at Hamilton Mill and just across the board globally, all campuses, is just do a better job of keeping the vision of small groups before people. Before all of our leaders and just everybody involved. So everybody can always understand the why. Why are we doing this? This is why we're doing this. So we're going to do a better job at that. And just so you guys know too, we're going to have a huddle with our small group leaders in 2 weeks. The same thing we're doing now. We haven't had a chance to really touch base with our small group leaders. So just so you guys kind of know, that's coming as well. And we'll have the same conversation with them. So that's going to happen. Now, in addition to knowing the vision, and we talked about this before, but I believe it's good that we identify what our win is. What is our win? If we can identify what the win, what's a win for us? A win helps us to answer the question, well, how do we know we're doing a good job? What's a win? What can we identify with so we can celebrate with our leaders, the people that we're leading? How can we celebrate with them if we don't know what a win is? How do we know that we're making progress? How do we know what we need to change? How do we know what we're doing is working? So the win can help with those different things. And so it can be a tool that can answer those questions. So again, the win statement, it derives from the vision. And so the win is basically from our small group tagline, making friends, becoming disciples. That's our small group tagline, making friends, becoming disciples. So if we had to make a statement, it would be something like, we win when people in small groups are making friends and becoming disciples. And so we're going to have to get creative with how we are retrieving that information, but we're going to have to try to, make sure that people are sharing stories and, just sending pictures, whatever, like just making sure that our leaders are communicating with us, so we can be aware of like, hey, these things are happening. So we're going to figure out, just a good system to put in place. And we're open to ideas that you guys might have, so we can do that better and just be effective with that. But I think that's going to be great, just having a win statement. So keeping the vision and the win, before ourselves and before the people that we get the opportunity to lead, is going to be great. It's going to be great, and it's going to be encouraging, and it's going to make us better shepherds. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to, just to be able to do that. So I want to encourage you guys, because I know this is kind of the first time we're really diving into this, is to let the vision and the win statement, let it drive you to lead and shepherd with confidence and with purpose in your role as a coach. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're not going to get too deep into it because I want to just hit some other things and then give us some time to talk in case you have questions and things. But I sent everybody an email with the most updated coaches' role and expectations of what that looks like. So, you can take time to just kind of look at that later. But the role of a coach is this. Basically, as a coach, we're asking you to partner with us, to partner with Courtney and I, to provide leadership, to provide guidance, training, and care for our people, for our small group leaders. And so that's it. I mean, that's the high level of what a coach role is. Now, how we do that, all the details of that, the how-to is within, the SOP or the expectations or whatever you want to call it. But that's it. We need help we've been tasked with this beast and we have people to shepherd and that needs care. And so we can't do it all by ourselves. So we are on this journey of pulling people in to help us that also has, also want to see a need being met and seeing people cared for and lives changed through small groups and community to help us to accomplish that, to help us to do that. And so, yeah, man, that's what we're looking for. We need some people that can help us with those different things. So with that in mind, we've kind of mentioned this slightly in kind of some side conversations, but we are going to be assigning small group leaders to you guys. And so we want to make sure that you guys are taking care of yourselves while you're taking care of others. So our goal is to do no more than 5 groups per coach, per sets of coaches. No more than 5 groups, because you guys have to be able to still have something in the tank to be able to give out as well. And so we want to just try to make sure that we're taking care of you guys also, and us too, because we're in this thing with you guys as well. So we want to make sure that we can do that. Any questions before I dive into the next section? What's coming up? What are y'all's thoughts so far?
Good.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. So be thinking of questions though, just whatever towards the end, so that way we can. The more questions y'all ask, the more it's gonna jog our memory, so we can remember to tell y'all stuff. All right. So what's coming up? I just want to kind of give you guys some dates. Sorry, yeah, this is yours. Courtney's gonna share.
My part is dominating it. No, just joking.
She's got like stuffy nose syndrome over here.
I know.
So.
I don't know. Last night I felt great yesterday, and like last night right before fusion, my throat started hurting, and I was, oh, that's weird. I wonder if it was the food I ate. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But I felt fine, and then I woke up this morning and my nose is all jacked up. I'm over here drinking hot tea. My throat's sore. But anyway. Okay, so
you caught some from Chad.
I know, Chad. You probably gave your germs to Lori, and I picked it up at Fusion.
That's not right.
No, I don't know what it was. That I just made a concoction of like a bunch of different spices and apple cider vinegar and lemon and honey. But anyway, okay, so TJ's going to talk about some dates that we have coming up, and one of those dates that we have coming up is our small group launch. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Then one of the next yeah, I know, but one of the date that's coming up is August 25th, and that's when we're relaunching our small groups. So with that coming up, with that coming up, I thought it would be cool for you guys to know when we have our orientation and core 4 classes. So for Chad and Tiffany, before, and just so you guys know, Nathan and Lisa, but before now, everybody was going to Norcross to go to an orientation class or to go to a core 4 training class. And so they were great about providing multiple dates, but it wasn't that convenient for somebody that lives, near Hamilton Mill or north of Hamilton Mill. And so when that was something that TJ and I really wanted to do when we came on as small group pastors, is to start getting our classes at Hamilton Mill so that it's much more convenient for the Hamilton Mill community, and so that they don't have to drive all the way to Norcross for those. So We are launching all of orientation and Core 4 classes at Hamilton Mills starting this month.
That's awesome.
I know, it's so exciting. So we have all of our dates booked in EMS, which is a software program that we use to make sure that our rooms are reserved and nobody else, can have that space. So it is a done deal. And I started an email today, but I wanted to wait until after the call so you guys knew what it was when I sent it out. But I'm going to send it to you guys, and on that email is a link for all of the orientation and Core 4 classes at Hamilton Mill. So it shows you like what dates we offer the classes, how many slots we can take, and how many of them are full. So each class has a capacity of 20 people. And so right now, I think for our July 28th orientation, we have 2 people registered. So we have 18 slots open. But as we grow and we create awareness and people know that we're offering these classes, it'll be great to know if you guys have a new leader coming up, you can just quickly go on that, check that email and go to that link and say, hey, there's 2 orientations coming up. This one has 1 spot left. You better, reserve it now if you want it or whatever. I just thought it would be great for you guys to be able to reference that. And so the orientation class is going to be offered once a month. Right now, that's really like all we really need to do because we just don't have that many groups coming through. If we ever do a push or we have a big influx of leaders applying, then of course we'll go to 2 orientations for a month or 2 to accommodate everyone. And then our Core 4 classes, we're also doing once a month, but we're taking the month of November and December off as far as Core 4 training, just because it's crazy with holidays and offices being closed. And I really don't think a lot of people are going to be scheduling those classes in November and December. So that's happening. Small group leaders, so you guys know, if you're not familiar or just as a refresher, small group leaders cannot lead a small group until they have completed orientation. You have to complete orientation first. Small group leaders can lead a small group if they have not completed their Core 4 training classes. So Core 4, they have 1 year to complete all of their Core 4 training classes. And let's say you guys have an emerging leader and you think they're going to do a great job, but there's just a little bit, they just need a little bit more grooming or a little bit more growth. Then at that point, we would offer them to lead a group after they completed all 4 Core 4 training classes. So sometimes we'll require that on like a case-by-case situation. But for the most part, they have 1 year to complete that from the time they start, but they cannot lead a group unless they've gone through orientation. Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay. And then
I would add too, obviously one of the main, it's important that they go to orientation so they can be oriented. But that's the place where we're going to really, hit on the vision and really keep that before, everybody. Obviously, in orientation, why are you signing up to be a small group leader, or coach or what have you. So it's going to be great.
Yep. And because we have so many groups new that are starting at Hamilton Mill, I think we have 12 groups that are going to be starting when that fall semester starts. And that's as of now. And we haven't even really started doing, this past weekend was the first weekend we really promoted anything about leading a small group from the stage. And we have 12 groups in process to start in August, which is awesome. 13. We have 13. So
I'm gonna hook y'all up with some numbers at the end, just so you can kind of see where we are and all that stuff.
So there's a lot happening, and there's a lot of growth that's happening. So we thought it would, for our Core 4 classes through the end of the year, we're going to be doing developing leaders. So developing leaders, and we're going to be doing facilitation. The other 2 classes that we will also start including in 2020 are friendship and care and groups go. So those are the 4, but when you get that email and you go to the link, it'll tell you exactly which classes are being offered at our campus. And as a side note, just so that you guys are all in the loop, anybody who wants to lead a small group who's ready to take orientation or ready to take Core 4 classes, they can go to either campus. They don't only have to go to Hamilton Mill, and same with Midtown and Norcross. They can take a class at Hamilton Mill. They don't only have to go to Midtown or Norcross. wherever the class is available, it's all the same material. So whatever's more convenient for them, they can take the class any location. So that's just, if you guys have someone that works downtown and they want to, you know, take a class at Norcross on their way home, they have that option. So just something cool to know.
Or somebody who, you know, they probably live in Buford or out near Hamilton Mill, but they attend Norcross campus. So they still have the option to do that. And then we also want to encourage you guys to attend the Core 4 classes as well. So that way, I mean, obviously, so you'll kind of know what we're teaching in those classes. So when you get questions, you know, from the small group leaders, you'll kind of know where we're going and what they're hearing. And so, and then it just give you some, you know, just some resources as you're pouring out to them and resourcing them and equipping them. It'll be good to just kind of know what we're doing and what we're teaching. So the classes are awesome. So the facilitation class is basically what it is. We're just equipping people to know how to facilitate a small group. And the developing leaders, we're talking about the hero maker stuff in there. And we're just basically giving them the heart and vision behind multiplication, how to identify a leader, developing leaders, what that looks like. And then groups go is basically talking about serving, you know, how to serve as a group, some different things you can do. And then friendship and care is friendship and care, just teaching how to, you know, make friends, become disciples, but how to care for the needs of the people that they're leading. So it's really, really good, man. We and so what's really cool about it is it's the same training material that Pastor Randy and Sherry used with Gateway. And so it's really cool because they've been able to train us up on it. And I think it's been going well since we've been implementing it. We had the opportunity to teach some of the classes down at Norcross before we started up here. And so it comes across very well. The response is good. And it's the material set up very nicely. So you guys will love it when you guys go through the classes.
Yep.
So yeah, we give everybody a year to do that. In addition to, just so you guys know too, and I think you already know this, but we always encourage all of our small group leaders to go through Forward if they haven't had a chance to go through Forward. And obviously lead well now is the big fish that we are trying to get imparted into the hearts of our congregation. And so that's something that just to give you a little bit of foundation with lead well, the idea behind lead is obviously to equip the congregation to be able to lead in their communities, identify their gifts, and do different things of that nature. So just so you guys kind of know what we're doing at Victory, all ministries are, however they're doing it, however they're going to strategically place lead well, but all ministries are basically making that as an onboarding, as part of their onboarding process before they can even start serving. So we, just so you know, when we send out the onboarding email, which we can send that out to you, well, you guys already seen that, but we've added it to the onboarding email, and that's the first thing that they have to do before they complete their application and background check is go through the Lead Well videos, check it out. So basically they can, you know, understand, hey, what is a leader? You know what I mean? So just so you guys know, that's also in there.
So I'm understanding you're saying they need to do lead well before they can lead a small group?
Correct.
Is that what you're
Yes.
The 5
Yeah.
videos.
Go ahead, Nathan.
So they do orientation, they do lead well, and they start core 4.
Yes.
That's the
Yep.
requirements.
Yep.
Okay.
So they do lead. So within that onboarding email, it'll say lead well first, application and background check, and then orientation.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And then from there, we'll send them like the dates to sign up for the classes and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is this how the process has been going for the last few years? Is this how it has been, or is this new?
It's new.
A little bit of both. Yeah. a little bit of both. It's mostly new.
It's new.
Yeah, it's mostly new. Obviously, lead well is new. To be honest, yeah. So to be honest, we're kind of bringing in some of the process type stuff with it. So Yeah. So it's mostly new,
Well,
but
they've been doing it since we've been on staff. This process has been like this since we've been here. The only thing that's been added to it is lead well. And that's just when the lead well launch, they just asked every ministry that before anybody in their ministry starts serving that they need to watch and complete those videos. So that's church-wide.
Anybody to serve anywhere.
Hmm?
Church-wide, anybody to serve anywhere, they go through
Yeah.
lead well.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yep. At least that's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to get to. So we're trying to get that to bleed into the culture and into the different ministries. So everybody's speaking the same language, you know, before leaders. And see, so here's one thing that's different with that. So that doesn't take the place of individual, like ministry specific type training.
Right.
That's just, hey, you want to be a leader? Here's what it looks like to be a leader. Here's what it looks like to be a leader in your community, on your job, in your family. And so they still have to go through ministry specific training. So that's where our orientation comes in. That's where our, you know, core 4 and that type of thing come in. Yeah, good questions. Anything else?
I actually have a very simple question. August 25th, is that small group signups or is that small group launch?
Small group launch. So we're going to start the fall semester August 25th. It'll start August 25th. The rally, and we'll talk about that too, but the next rally is going to be August 17th. Yes, August 17th. And so just a
rally to sign up for a small group.
No, just our global rally that we do when we bring all the campuses together and we do just a rally, just kind of a recharging, you know, just hey, here's where we're going for the next year, for the next season, and just kind of bringing everybody together. It's held at Norcross every year.
And so when is sign up?
Say that again.
So when are signups? Like when are we driving people to it's coming? Okay, here, signups. When is that?
Yeah, so it's gonna be a couple weeks in August, a couple weeks before that.
Okay.
So initially it was supposed to be the whole month of August, but we kind of had a flip in preaching schedules coming up. And so this weekend, we were supposed to have Pastor Darius at Hamilton Mill and just giving more of a detailed, you know, just more details about what it looks like. What does a small group look like? That type of thing. And talking about interest base and all that kind of stuff. And so that's been flipped. Pastor D is going to speak and we're going to stream Pastor Dennis. And so we're going to move Pastor Darius' message is going to be moved to August, like the second week of August. So it's going to be around in that time, those first couple weeks in August, or second and third.
So the 4th and the 11th.
Yeah, so the 11th.
The third week of August is rally.
So it's going to have to be those first 2 weeks, those first 2 weekends in August.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
The 4th and the 11th.
Okay, it's sign up.
4th and the 11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a table or something out there? Or will we have a table or something in the lobby, or what's up?
Yes.
We'll have like pop-up banners and tables. We'll recruit probably as many of you guys are able to help us. We'll have our community. Try to wear our community shirts. We're trying to get some t-shirt material, long sleeve t-shirts. They are coming. We just don't know if they're like when they're going to be here. I think they're going to be here the end of July. The goal is for them to be here the end of July so we can wear our community t-shirts, and they'll be obviously during the closing announcements. And so we'll have the PSL up. So there'll be a lot of buzz created, and then having a lobby presence will just create a lot of buzz, you know, for everybody that's walking through.
So is there going to be like a buildup of announcements or videos or anything, kind of just, you know, communicating, you know?
Yeah, identical to what we're doing for this month of July. Mm-hmm. And so this weekend we're actually gonna we have a slot in the opening announcements where we're gonna talk about it as well. about leading groups. So we're just pushing the lead groups for the month of July.
Okay.
And then August will, that'll be when we're joining and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to kind of be, I don't want to get too far into it because we're going to hit it, but that's going to kind of be kind of like the trend every year. So like the months that we are off, those will be our months to recruit leaders hardcore. And then obviously the months that we start, each semester, then we'll, just do some cool things to try to bring in some people to join groups. So we're going to have like some balloons. We talked about having balloons and stuff like that. So just trying to make it a big deal for joining groups.
What about the orientation? When's the next orientation? And is that going to be on like a schedule, like last weekend of the month? Is that going to be a consistent thing that we can be pushing people towards?
Yes.
Yes. The next one is July the 28th. And I want to say we tried to do it I think it's going, hold on, let me pull it up. I think we tried to do the third weekend of the month. We couldn't make it consistent every single week through 2019 because there were already different events and things booked. But we tried to do either the third or fourth.
Third.
It's the third. I think it's the third week. It's
the third Sunday of every month. That's kind of what we're going for.
Except for the 28th is obviously not the third, but beyond that it should be.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for.
Wait, is it during services or
Correct.
is it going to be after?
It's during service.
During
Okay.
the 11 o'clock. So that way.
Is that something you guys want us to try to like step in and be at every time or?
It's not
No.
necessary. It's not necessary because I know you guys are pulled all over the place on the weekends.
Okay.
But if you want to, just step in and say hello and introduce yourself, absolutely, that's cool. If you guys have time to do that, but yeah, no pressure though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need help facilitating anything with those?
Not right now because they're so small. Like we had 6 people. I mean, 6 people is good. That's 6 new leaders. But I'm just saying,
Right.
in comparison to if you go to orientation in Norcross, there's like 50 people in there. But just because it's so small, it's really just, it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I do want to throw this out there, as we, especially for next year, as we continue to add more classes, if you guys feel like you have a desire to help, maybe do some of the trainings, we're going to, just allow, some of the coaches and maybe some of the small group leaders who has a gift in that or who wants to do it, have a heart to do that, to like just help us lead some of the trainings.
Yeah. It requires 2 people really. One person does, is presenting the material and then one person works pro-presenter, the slides.
Yeah.
And we do light refreshments on the back table, very similar to the new member class.
New members. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to that. Snacks in the back. We have round tables because there's a lot of opportunity for them to have table time, which has been really great for the Core 4 and for the orientation trainings. They like that a lot. So the round tables, and it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm telling you guys, the material is really good.
It is.
Like I enjoy it. That's probably one of my favorite parts, is like doing the trainings.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh,
Hey.
Dad.
She's a little lady right now. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I have a question. Are we going to have a presence at the new members? Because I know for Forward, like I'll walk in at the end and say, she'll say, hey, we've got some people here from Forward. If you're interested in Forward, you can talk to her and ask questions about the classes. Is it going to be the same kind of thing for small groups?
So right now she's just been having us come down in the beginning before new members class starts and just greeting everybody, letting them know we're with small groups, encouraging them to join a small group and things like that. Mm-hmm. If she'll allow us some time to get in there and do that and I can talk to her about it, then we would love to do it. So right now we're just in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thoughts.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, those are great, guys. All right, so something else that's coming up is, and you guys have heard it called different things, different churches call it different things, but you kind of been hearing through the grapevine about the interest-based groups or the common interest groups. Some churches call them free market groups. And so we want to move towards those types of groups. But what we want to do is we want to move towards not, hey, what's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, TJ?
Nothing much. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. My apologies for being late. I kind of lost track of time.
No worries, no worries. We're recording the video, so you can go back and listen as well if you need to.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were just talking about kind of what's coming up, and we were just talking a little bit about letting everybody know that we are now offering the orientations and core 4 classes at Hamilton Mill. I think I already emailed you about that anyway, Anthony, but that's kind of where we landed. And I was just getting ready to talk about the different types of groups that we want to start getting people to create some community around. And so what we want to try to do is we want to try to not necessarily like label the small groups as like an interest group or something like that. Because the mindset we wanted to have with it is, and what we want to communicate is that, you know, we offer groups, but we just offer different types of groups, if that makes sense. So a group is a group. It's not an interest group. It's just, you know, it's a group. we just offer these types of groups. And so right now, our experience team, which if I don't know if you guys know the experience team, but they basically handle all our graphics and slides and websites and all that stuff. So right now they're in the process of getting all that done for us, so we can have a new look for our website, so we can be able to really have a visual for a lot of the groups that are considered as interest groups that nobody knows about, because people are doing them. People are meeting in coffee shops. People are having biking groups, cooking groups. Like, people are already doing those different things. But we just don't have anything currently that says, hey, we're doing this. So we're going to have something really soon, I think by August, that will be able to back us up and we can direct people to it. But that's kind of the mindset we're trying to get towards, is, you know, more so just letting people know, like, hey, the important thing is that we offer groups, and these are different types, and we want you to be able to create community around your interests. Like, that's what we're trying to get people to understand, to create groups around your interests. Whatever it is that you like, create some community around it in your community. And one thing I wanted to give some feedback, I want to give you guys an update too. I forgot to text you back, Nathan. So this past weekend, you know, this was the first weekend that we did like the lead groups push from the stage and the closing announcements. We had the presence in the lobby. And so we did it across Norcross and Hamilton Mill. I don't believe Midtown did it past weekend. But the response obviously wasn't a good response. Because I think it's going to take some time, because this is the first time that people are really starting to see this. And the more we get the branding out there, the more we, you know, continue to advertise it and push it and different things, people will kind of be aware the more we start talking about it. But we had about 17 responses across all campuses. And so we had one response that we were able to identify at Hamilton Mill. And then we had like 9 people that weren't even in our system. So we have to reach out to them and just see, like, you know, hey, which campus are they affiliated with? And then go from there. But I wanted to share this, and you know, the common theme that we were running across this past weekend, as we were talking to people, myself, Courtney, and I know Nathan and Lisa, and also we had a couple other leaders that helped us. But one of the biggest things that we're running into, what people had to say, was they didn't realize that they could create community around their interests. And so everybody's thinking, I won't say everybody, I don't want to use absolutes, but most people are thinking that in order to lead a group, when they hear lead a group, they're thinking in their living room, leading a Bible study, and they're thinking, I am not qualified to do that. And so what we're having to do now, we're on this journey now where we're having to kind of debunk that whole mindset and like give people something different to think about. Like, hey, if you want to do that, yes, that's cool. But let's simplify it and let's just see how you can create community around something that you like. And I talked to a gentleman last weekend, and he mentioned like, hey, I don't have a place to have people over. I don't really know if I can do that. And I said, well, what do you like to do? He was like, well, I wanted to, do a group with what the heck did he say? I can't remember what he said. It'll come to me in a minute. But basically, he had a particular interest in what he wanted to do, and he wanted to do a walking group. Like he just wanted to do just a fitness group is what he said. And just where they get together, they just walk, they go hiking or whatever. And he said, I like to do that, and I would love to just get people together to do that. I said, well, that's very simple. I said, it doesn't take you sitting in the living room. I said, hey, all you would need to do, you guys walk for an hour. Hey, let's stop. Let's take a break. I just want to share a scripture with you that, God laid on my heart, or I just want to share something that we talked about at church today. I thought it would be really cool to share with you guys. Hey, cool. Let's share that. Do you guys have any prayer requests? Anything we can pray for? Boom. Let's keep walking again. So just trying to help people to understand, like, it can be as simple as that. But the biggest thing is trying to get people to understand that they can create community. They are equipped to create community around their interests. So that's why we're trying to go with the not necessarily the label, but hey, we have this group, and you can do this. You can lead this type of group.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
So how are we going to do that? How are we going to create that buzz? How are we going to communicate that so that people start getting excited about going, oh, well, I have this interest. I have this gift. I could do that. Mm-hmm. Like, how are we going to do that?
Yeah. So what we've talked about so far is, number one, we have to, because our coaches, you guys, and our small group leaders are going to be a big part of helping us to identify people who are already doing these things and letting them know this. So the rally is going to be huge in August, like just getting that out there. Here's what we're doing. And we already kind of talked about that at the first rally, but going in more detail with it and really getting all of us to buy into it and to understand it so we can start speaking this language. And then we've talked about, and then we talked about with Pastor Randy and also with Johnson, just starting to do more of communicating it from the platform. So taking more opportunities to put these in their messages, even at Norcross as well. But to put these in their messages, making sure that we're having slots during the announcements, making sure that, we're having a consistent lobby presence. And we're also in the process now. I don't know exactly how we're going to use it yet, but we're also in the process now of where they're helping us to create a video to introduce, groups, introduce different types of things that we do. So, just blasting those out there, social media, on the website. And again, once we get that website with the new face and all that kind of thing, now we can start pushing traffic to it. So it's just getting the buzz out there those types of ways and just trying to do some creative things with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The video, just so you guys know, the intention of the video is to be played on the weekend during service. So there's a couple videos, and one, obviously to play at the rally, but then there's another one to really talk about interest-based groups and really promote some of the interest-based groups that we have and just get everybody's ideas flowing with that. That's meant to be played during service. Yeah. So those are some things that we've talked about. Hey, again, you guys have been doing this for a minute too. So, you guys have been around. So you guys have any ideas, man, throw them my way. We're open, just to be strategic with this thing and creative as much as, we can be. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. All right. So just some other dates to keep in mind. So we kind of talked about semesters. So we are officially moving towards having small group semesters. The reason why I say officially is because I've had a conversation with several small group leaders and they have no idea what semesters are. So yeah, apparently it was thrown out there, but it wasn't, like, hey, this is what we're doing. So we are going to do semesters, and man, I believe we're going to see a lot of fruit from this. We're going to see a lot less turnover and attrition with this thing, because People aren't going to be getting burnt out. And I think it's going to give groups an opportunity to like really build some relationships and really like, just have some, confidentiality and just really have some moments where they are really coming together and gelling together as groups. So with that in mind, we'll get you guys the dates and all that kind of stuff. But just so you kind of know, spring semester would be February through April. And then summer would be June through July. And so just so you guys kind of know about summer, we are encouraging everybody during the summer semester to take a break. And we're encouraging groups, and this is for Fusion as well. But we are encouraging groups, hey, if you're going to meet, do something social, do something where it's not taxing on you as much.
And that's just this summer, right? Not future, just right now, this summer.
That's what we're doing this summer.
Right.
But I think that's going to be the direction we're going to come as well. And just encouraging people to really take a break and rest and recharge. And hey, if you want to meet, do a barbecue, go to a park, do something where, it doesn't take so much preparation and take so much out of you so you can actually rest and rejuvenate.
So I'm sorry, do you mind if I just make sure I repeat back what you're saying?
Sure.
So for right now, we're definitely encouraging them to take a break over the summer. But in the future, we're also telling them to take a break, or are you going to have summer semesters so that people who might want to be a leader for the first time want to try out just an 8-week, semester, they can do that? Or, I'm sorry, could you just clarify that just a little for me?
Yes, absolutely. So the way that we're going during the summer breaks, we are encouraging them to take a break. That's what we've talked about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As far as
Great. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry if that was confusing. So for those 8 weeks, so spring semester would be a 12-week semester. Then the summer would be 8 weeks. And then the fall will pick back up and be another 12 weeks. So this just gives people something to look forward to. And it's not like, I just signed up to lead a small group for like 6 years and I don't know when I'm going to stop. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, what the heck am I doing here? So it'll help people to be able to balance life and ministry, Go ahead, Nathan.
No, I was saying good call. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So to encourage people to take a break, we're almost gonna have to force people, as you know, because it's gonna be hard for people to do that at first. So one of the things that we're gonna do, we started it this summer, is we're not gonna provide any discussion guides based off of the weekend services. So that's one thing that we're gonna do. And then what we've also talked about is once we get our website up and running, is to actually close groups via the website. So people won't even be able to join groups during that time. So that's kind of where we're going right now. And so we'll just see how that works. But so we're going to do a spring, summer, and fall when it comes to groups and semesters.
Spring and a fall.
Or spring and the fall, but breaking the summer.
Summer will be off.
So 12 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. And so for Fusion, that's summertime is really key because right now our demographic at Fusion VHM, we have a lot of college age students. We have a lot of our young adults are still in college, so they go away. And so our numbers kind of drop a little bit in the summer, or in when it's not summer. So when they go back to school in the fall and all that stuff. But in the summertime, we've noticed our numbers are picking up because everybody's back. So we're probably going to encourage our young adult groups to still meet, but do something less taxing. So just do something, community night or, just do something like that where they can just hang out and have some community, enjoy each other.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of goes back to the question I think you had, Lisa, really about how we're going to do this, like as far as recruiting and different things. And so we want to use those months that we'll have off. So like the January, the May, the August, excuse me, and from a staff perspective, November and December, probably not so much because of holiday, but we're going to use those months to really push and recruit leaders and really make it a big deal when, groups are opening back up.
That's great.
That's platform communication, social media, lobby presence, peer-to-peer, small group to small group, those types of things.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so it's getting there. All right, so then let's see. The next one is the rally. We talked about that already. August 17th, 9:30 to 12:30. Did we send out anything yet? Did y'all get anything? No, we haven't sent it out yet. So you guys will be getting a sign up for that, for the rally, to sign up for the rally. And just so you guys know too, the rally is always for coaches, small group leaders, and any emerging leaders, any leaders who have shown interest and they want to lead a small group, or any leaders that you guys have just identified. You've seen it in them. Maybe they haven't said anything yet, but maybe you've had an ICU conversation with them or whatever. Please invite them so they can just hear, the heart and vision behind what we do. So that's going to be for all current leaders and emerging leaders, the rally. It's going to be awesome. And so we're actually planning for that right now. We're meeting weekly to plan for the rally. So it's going to be really cool. Volunteer appreciation is coming up. Yay. Well, we get to appreciate all of you guys.
August the 2nd.
August the 2nd, Friday, August 2nd. So we're going to also send out, you should have gotten an email from the church, maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that?
Yeah, did you
guys get an email? Anybody get an email?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Awesome. So the pavilion, the event is going to be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., but we have the pavilion rental from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you all want to come and you want to be able to be in the pavilion, it's from 10 to 4, but it's 10 to 10 all day long. And the registration deadline is Wednesday the 17th. Yeah. So if you haven't registered and you plan to be there, go ahead and register for that.
Yeah, so go ahead and register. And I know it said it on the email, but just so you kind of have some clarity, it's for you guys who serve and anyone who is living with you in your home. Like if you have kids that live with you, they are invited. Yeah. So just make sure they come too. So it's going to be awesome. So you'll probably get another message. We're going to create a little dial my call, little phone message thing. So we're going to send that out in the next couple of days just to remind all the small group leaders, just remind everybody to sign up before July 17th. So that's going to be great.
Yep.
So I wanted to quickly anybody have any quick questions at all?
No.
Sweet. All right. Y'all rolling with me?
Mm-hmm.
No, we're good.
All right. You all right over there, Chad?
Hanging in, man. I'm good.
All right. I'm just checking on my boy. Man, you got to get you some castor oil.
Ew.
Yeah, I've been loading up last couple of days. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm rebounding.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Just checking on you. All right. So I want to give y'all some numbers and some goals that we have just so you guys can be praying for us. And just not just for us, but praying for the ministry, praying for you guys and the groups and different things. But so just so you guys kind of know, man, God's doing some cool things and we're making some traction. But currently we have 48 small groups.
Yay!
Yeah.
We have 48 small groups.
Hamilton Mill?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hamilton Mill.
Hamilton Mill.
So those are all small groups across all ministries. So we have for the adults, we have, and that's including Fusion as well, but 35 adult groups, 35 of those are adult groups. 4 of them are coming from the men's groups, which the men, they're about to blow this out of the park. They have another 5 groups that are hopefully going to be coming in the next couple months.
Yay.
We have 2 online groups of the 35, and we have 3 Fusion groups of the 35. And we're hoping to have another 2 more Fusion groups by August. So that's going to be awesome.
Yep.
And so the other ones are broken up into youth ministry, the capital and the city. We have 13 groups between them. So we have 13.
is that in the 35, the capital groups?
No,
That's in the 48.
that's in the 48.
That's in the 48. Yeah. The 35, those are the adult groups. Yep. So right now we're about 36% of our church are in small groups.
Wow.
36%. So the goal is obviously definitely 100%.
Right.
In the future, it's going to take some time to do that. But I think we're on the right track. I think we're doing a lot of things as a church as a whole that's going to help to push people towards community and small groups and to help increase our percentage. But we're at about 36% right now, which we moved up. So we moved up about 10% in the last 9 months. We've got about 13 people in process to lead small groups. And so that would give us, over the next 2 or 3 months, that'll give us about 61 total small groups. So, which is cool. I'm looking forward to getting those people processed. So here's our need, guys. Here's where we need you guys to be praying for us. We need four more coaches to give us 6 coaches. Okay. So be praying for that. We can just help us identify some people. Be praying that God will reveal some people to us. And so we need 4 more coaches.
Wait, it was 9, wasn't it? Don't we have 5 already?
Just sets.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the qualification for that, TJ?
What's that, bro?
What's the qualification for being a coach?
So we would love if someone has had experience leading a small group. And so, maybe someone, like we've been thinking about a couple, they just started leading a small group, but we see in them already, they can be great coaches. So maybe it's a process where, they lead for about 6 months. And then, as they're multiplying, their groups, they can have somebody take over their group and transition to being a coach. So that's really it. Usually it's going to come from like high recommendation from like a staff level or a coach level. So if you guys, identify somebody like, hey, this person, like they're legit. I think they can be a great coach. They've had some experience here and there. Obviously they would still need to go through application, background check, all that kind of stuff. So we need that. Our goal is to have 2 to 3 sets of adult group coaches by the end of the year. So we want to have at least 2 to 3 by the end of the year. And our goal is to have 2 more Fusion young adult groups by the end of the year. So we want to.
You're talking peer led for the Fusion groups, right?
Yeah. Yep. For the young adult groups. For the Fusion group, peer led, but then for the adult groups, we need about 2 to 3 more coaches by the end of the year.
Do we have a few interested?
We do. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do. We have a couple couples. Obviously you guys know one of the couples that we are wanting to sit down with. And we had another couple that I don't know if you guys know Mark and Cheryl, but they are super awesome. But they're thinking about it. They're trying to figure out what that looks like for them. So we have a couple coaches that we can hopefully get by the end of the year. So definitely within the next couple months, hopefully. So, but anyway, so be praying for that. But also too, we've grown from 38 groups to 48 groups, in just 9 months. So we're making some progress. And guys, we've gone from 0 coaches to 5 coaches in 9 months.
Yay!
So Lisa and Nathan and Anthony, just to give you guys a little bit of background, our Fusion coaches, our current Fusion coaches, they used to lead small groups in Fusion for like 2 years. Because that's how Fusion was based. They only met once a month. And our current coaches, they were the small group leaders for the last couple of years. And so they were willing and open and ready to be able to like help us coach and get us mobilizing our young adult leaders and empowering them. And so now they are coaches to all of our young adult small group leaders. So that has been awesome.
So great.
Yeah.
So
That's been really cool. So we're getting there. Listen, without y'all's help, we can't do any of this.
I know.
So we really appreciate y'all and just being there with us and willing to take this journey with us. So we're excited.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So the two groups that, we started our group that was a fusion group, but it kind of evolved beyond fusion into kind of young adult, young married couples with kids. It just kind of evolved while we had it.
Yeah.
And then, so when we multiplied it this last, I don't know, 3 months ago or whatever, when we multiplied that group into two groups, those kind of fall outside the realm of fusion now.
Yes.
With the age group and just the dynamic of those groups. So what does that look like for coaching those two groups that multiplied from our original group, seeing that they're not necessarily a fusion group anymore? Like, what capacity are you looking at me and Lori having with those groups, or are you wanting us to more focus on these young adult-led groups?
Yeah. So, hey, what's up, Jeff? Oh, I can't even see y'all. It's dark back there. Okay.
Hey.
What's up, man?
It looks super spooky.
Yeah, I know. Like, y'all just hiding in the dark. But currently, as you know, we've been trying to really have you guys help us with the fusion groups because obviously we didn't have any fusion groups. So now that we have that, I think more of the focus would be kind of around there. But however, we have talked about what would that look like to maybe have you guys help us with both, since those groups did kind of come from you guys, to see kind of what that will look like to do both. But we can talk through that. We can sit down with you and Lori and just see, what that looks like. Would that be too taxing? You know what I mean? Just see how that looks. But right now, more of the focus is with the fusion young adults.
Okay. No, yeah, let's definitely get together and talk about it. I just want to make sure that we have the proper expectations and that we're not overstepping, with those groups, since they are kind of changing or it kind of evolved. So I just want there to be clarity, and also so we can communicate with them, because we are communicating with those groups right now kind of on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that they have clarity too moving forward if something does change for them.
Yes, absolutely. So just so you know, just some quick action steps for us on our end is to get groups assigned. We're going to start getting groups assigned. Fusion, you guys are more so already covered, but more for Nathan and Lisa. We're going to get some groups assigned to you guys. And
draw lots or something.
Huh?
I'm going to draw lots.
Yeah. So we're going to get some groups assigned to you guys.
Actually, I am kind of curious. I was going to ask you, how does that process work? Only because, there may be some that have been doing groups for a long time and they don't know us from apples. Yeah. And they may kind of be like, well, who are you to, come in and coach us? And so how are you going to, is it going to be, hey, we can only take 5. Is there anybody who wants this? Or are you going to kind of go, okay, these are leaders, let's give them, give it to them, and, we can go from there. What's your process? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we're obviously still thinking through it, but Courtney had the idea. We were talking through it maybe a couple weeks ago, and she was saying that it'll be great to assign you guys to the groups that need it the most. So the ones who, like you were saying, there are groups who they've been doing this for years, and eventually we'll kind of get to them. But the ones who are newer, the ones who are, more of the younger leaders who just need more of the care and attention, that's kind of the direction that we want to go with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were
thinking probably the newer groups, and it's a really easy transition for you guys as coaches, and it's a really easy transition for them as leaders, because it's just the way it is for the new ones. Okay. So we were thinking that would be really good. And then when they're newer, they're going to take a little time to know what's going on. And there's some of our groups that have been around that need some coaching. But, you know, those are conversations that TJ and I can have with them. And we want to set you guys up for success and set our groups up for success. And we don't want to start you off in a group where they're like, no, thanks, we don't want it. You know what I mean? So we want to be like really thoughtful.
There you go.
Hey, we can see you guys.
They're no longer vampires.
Yeah.
Sorry, baby.
So yeah, we were thinking that, I mean, you guys can let us know how that sounds to you, or if you had a preference.
That sounds great.
Okay, good.
We just didn't want to, you know, have people that might be like, yeah, I really don't need a coach and I really don't want a coach. And then there's others that are kind of like, please, somebody just speak into my life and da-da-da-da. And so, you know, was there a process to weed that out and figure out who actually really need of coaching?
Yeah, you guys will
absolutely.
coach the people who value the idea of coaches. And if we have like a lot of pushback from somebody, then that's a question too that we can have about like them leading and stuff. You know, if they're giving major like pushback about the way things are going. But it's going to take some time for us to communicate that kind of new system to them. And so we just want to be mindful of all of that.
Well, that's one of the main things we're going to talk about with them in 2 weeks on our huddle with the small group leaders. Before we assign you guys, is helping them to understand what a coach is and why they need a coach. So I don't think that was done effectively previously. And so, you know, when we would talk to people about, you know, having coaches, they were just like, well, I don't need a coach because X, Y, Z. It was just how the vision was casted for it. And so we just want to explain to people what is a coach? Like, hey, you need somebody to support you. They're there to support you, to resource you, to equip you, to be an outlet for you. And you need that as a small group leader. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what we're going to do on the call.
And one last thing, I'm sorry. So are we supposed to be at the Huddle meeting in 2 weeks?
Oh, no, you don't have to be.
Okay.
You don't have to be. So we're gonna talk a lot about. I'll probably make some adjustments, obviously, as it pertains to them. But I want to give them a lot of the vision and the why and the heart and the foundation as well, because they haven't had that either. So it'll be good to just give them a little bit of that too, and just talk through the small groups, coaches' role and what that looks like for them, and that type of thing. So that's going to be our next action steps. Next action steps for you guys. We would love it if you guys would just take a moment to look at the coach's role document we sent out and the rally booklet, the digital rally booklet. That's the other attachment I sent, specifically in the creating community section, I think it is. Because in that section, that's where Pastor Darius kind of started to give some preliminary vision for us moving towards what a group looks like, how to create community around your interests and those types of things. So that'll be good for you to look at as well, that particular section, just so you can have an idea of that. And then if you're available over the next couple weeks, we would love for you guys to help us to recruit. I know some of you guys are super already involved on the weekend, and that's completely fine. But if you have a spare minute after service, 10 minutes, just come join us, help us to grab some people. We were sharing with the team today in our meeting. They were asking, well, how did it go as far as was it too crowded? I said, actually, we had to go and get some people because everybody came, even though we were right in front of the door, everybody came out of the door and went to the right or to the left. So they were either leaving or going to pick up their kids. So we had to hunt some people down and that type of thing. But it's all good. We'll make it happen. So our next coaches huddle, we would love to do this. Eventually, we want to get to where we're doing this every 6 weeks. But if it's okay with you guys, we would love to do this once a month, just for the next several months towards the end of the year. Just because everything is so new and everything is moving pretty quickly, we got a lot happening and coming within small groups. We just want to have opportunity just to connect with you and get you what you need and just kind of share with you where we are, where we're going. Especially, as Fusion is continuing to ramp up with small groups and, just be able to connect and touch base. And then we're thinking at the beginning of the year, we can kind of go to 6 weeks. Things start to slow down. Everybody's kind of in their rhythm. And so we'll send that out. I think our next when's our next date that we're
For the call.
yeah.
I should have put my here.
Hopefully you guys can make it, and we'll always record them just in case you can't make it.
Can I
August
ask one more
14th.
question?
August 14th.
Is there any chance, you just brought up that how everybody was leaving the sanctuary on Sunday,
Yeah.
just kind of going to the right or to the left? Is there any way to have something that we can put in people's hands that maybe says, like a piece of paper that says, are you our next small group leader? And it says, and maybe just like listing hobbies, book clubs, fishing, walking, whatever. And then Bible studies. Do you like, Joyce Meyer, this, and that, like something that catches their attention where they go, oh, wait a minute. Well, I mean, I like a book club. I like this. Like, is there any way? And I know that we don't do it very much because don't want too much different information getting out there. But in light of the fact that last week was not very successful and we have one more week, is there any way that we can, have them pass them down the aisle when they're announcing it and say, hey, everybody take a sheet, go home and look at over. Do you have any of these kind of hobbies or things like that? Maybe you're our next small group leader, something that just kind of makes people go, oh, well, I didn't know that cooking was a small group. Like, I would love to cook with girlfriends and then, be able to share the gospel with them, pray with them and make that into a small group. We'll show you how, maybe you're our next small group leader. We'll show you how to do it. Take what you love doing and, include other people, however the narrative is that you guys want to do it. But just kind of putting that out there. I want to grab people. I want to, our leaders are out there. They're in those two services.
Yeah.
We just got to figure out how to get to them. And if we really don't have that much time. So I'm just.
No, that is great.
No, that's such a great idea. That is such a great idea.
So you're on the right track. And that's where we're going. I don't know if we can necessarily get that done in the next couple weeks, just because it takes some time to obviously put all that stuff together. And
not on our end. It has to be done through experience. So you know that. It's not like.
Yeah, but it's cool. So what was I getting ready to say? Sorry, y'all, lost track. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of the direction that we're going with the whole website. The new look, all that kind of stuff. Once we get the branding and all that stuff, then we can effectively be able to put something into people's hands that's going to drive them back to a visual of, okay, we're actually doing this. So like if we do something like that now, they're not going to really be able to get the full effect of like, what we're really trying to get them to create community around. So yeah, we are, and that's something that we have talked about doing. Is getting things into people's hands that can show what we're doing. So we are getting there.
Announcing it at the top of service. Is that what you had mentioned? That are they announcing it this week?
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, so yep. So the next couple of weeks that we're gonna be announcing it, but we are moving towards once we get everything we need with the website and the branding and what we're doing with all that, then we can be able to kind of get some things into people's hands.
Yeah.
We actually thought about, we didn't have time to do it, but maybe just cutting out like some sheets of paper. I mean, it's not super fancy, but it's just, hey, if you're interested in creating community, text this line, text this number. And I don't
think people understand what creating community means yet. Like if we can't get something to put in their hands, somebody did something a week or two ago that I thought was really brilliant. They put something on the screen and they said, everybody take out your phones and take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Like, even if we had, like, while he's doing Darius's push, if he puts up something on the screen that says, hey, here's a list of hobbies that everybody does. You run, you walk, you this, you that, you like studies, maybe flash it and say, everybody take a picture and look at that picture when you get home today and ask God, am I a next small group leader? Maybe that's an easier route. We don't have to print up papers, cut them up, this and that. But if we could see if Darius can just throw a little slide up with, you guys brainstorm, list 20 different types of giftings or hobbies, yada, yada. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, that's what he was planning to do this weekend.
Oh, okay. Great.
But it got flipped, remember? So.
Oh, that's right. Dennis. Okay. So, but so we
Yes.
don't have any kind of announcement. We do have an announcement.
We do have an announcement. Yeah.
So maybe during the announcement, that's what I'm saying. If we can put a slide up and just say, hey, everybody take out your phones, take a picture of this. If you see something
let me check
love to do on the screen, maybe you're one of our next small group leaders.
Yeah,
you know?
let me check on that.
You know, anyway, that could be an easy.
That's a good idea.
I love the idea, Lisa. I think it's such a great idea. The only reason I was saying I don't know how soon we can do it is because all of that stuff that is done on the weekend, all of our PSLs, that all gets done through our experience team. So we have to make sure that they can prepare that for us.
Right.
So
maybe a slide is a way to come through the back door or something.
We'll sneak it in.
We'll
yeah.
But yeah, we can look at that for sure. I'll check on that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's it, guys. I want to be mindful. We're already like 20 minutes over. So I apologize about that. We had a lot to talk through, but we'll get these down packed so we're there like an hour, hopefully. But it's all good. All right. So you guys have any last minute things or anything like that before we pray out? Great. Okay. Just email us or text if you have any questions. We're here for you guys. And thank you guys again. And let's pray. Oh, and it's recorded too. So I'll send out the recording in case you want to look back at it too. Cool. God, we love you. We thank you so much for our time together tonight. Thank you for what's to come. Thank you that we get to be a part of it. And we just pray that you will lead the way, Holy Spirit. We need you. We cannot do it without you. We thank you for all of our coaches. We thank you for all of our small group leaders. We thank you for our small groups and those attending. And we pray, Father, that they would find you, find community, find love, that they would find peace, that they would find hope through relationships with others. And so we just give you all the praise for all we do. And it's in your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Awesome.
All right, you guys.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all are awesome.
Good night. Love you
Thanks.
guys. Bye.
Love y'all.
See ya.